Um, release successes and failures fast.
Mm.
You can frame them, put them up on the hallway, but don't carry them with you in your wallet. You know what I'm saying? Like, that could be trauma, that could be protection. But that is definitely one way to prevent ego from taking over, right? So you could go back in your past and there was probably 10 very amazing things you did as a man, accomplishments, survivals, testimonies. Take that, frame it, put it on the wall, but keep going. Because once you get to look in and reflecting at your past wins, then you're not looking at your next step. There was this, I don't know, remember the Hard Knock Life tour documentary?
Yeah.
With Hove, and he said somebody out there is doing the alphabet cereal, putting raps together, and they're gonna come take my throne. That's the same thing, and really in all aspects. So to release that ego, if you're just harping on the thing you did last year or last month, and there's just so much more runway, somebody else who's being more prepared, who shows a little bit more humility, and I believe humility is a godly word. It's not, I know it's kind of connected to grind culture and don't be humble or else. But if you go into this space humble, always a student, always learning, ready to learn, it keeps you ahead of the competition. In fact, it aligns you and creates spaces for allyship with someone who may see you as competition, because they know they can't do nothing with you because you staying on top of things, you staying learning, you staying sharp, stay building. That ego overrides a lot. I was just talking to a sister, and ego overrides empathy and it overrides ethics. So, ego, I think, is the first thing to get in check as a man trying to be a leader or in a leadership position, whether it's professionally or socially.
Boy, Mr. Hawkins, man, you
great.
Mr. Hawkins, man, look, you got the children like this. Hey, man, the light has been shining through, but I mean, it's coming all the way through. Now the wall, I think this will go break it all the way down.
Nah, let's do it.
Seriously, man, because you're talking about me, and I was that guy, man, for a long time, and in some areas I still am that guy. I think that I have certain things figured out, and I'm very selective on who I engage with, and it's not that I don't want it or desire it, because I do have it around and available, but it's just the ego allows us to be very judgmental, like you said.
Yeah.
And it's to our detriment, and it really stunts our growth as well as our progress. A lot of the gifts that are in us, I do believe that programs like yours, and men who's done the work like you have, you guys are the finishing touches, as well as the molding along the way. And you mentioned God. How important do you think that spirituality, how important do you think that is, and how does that play along the journey of growth in manhood?
That's a great great question. I think that's something that's missing in a lot of the conversation around leadership, manhood. What I found is when you are fighting for something, working for something greater than yourself, that's the pinnacle of manhood. That's the top right there. I just asked, what is the pinnacle of manhood? I think working towards a purpose is the pinnacle of manhood. Whether it's your family, God, serving your community, because of the large spiritual impact that oppression has had on your people and your family. It's in your blood. So you're fighting against that. I think, it gives you direction. It gives you compass. It gives you a place where you can stop and review notes, compare notes with something. But if you're comparing notes with the world, then you're going to get worldly results. You're going to get something from the world as an option. But if you take this issue from the world and you compare it with the notes from God or spirituality or righteousness, love, we could go into that too, but if we compare those notes to that, then it's much easier to find a direction that people will respect you for standing on. They're not respecting you for the bag. They're respecting you because you stand for something